good evening, and welcome to November Foxtrot. You're joined here tonight by Jake and Steve. Hi, Jake and Steve.
Hey.
There they are.
How are you doing, chaps?
Do you guys want to just give an introduction to yourselves so we don't,
Yeah, so I'm Steve from Rift Airsoft. I'm a host and marshal at Rift Airsoft, son of Tony, who's obviously the owner of Rift. And this is Jake. We're partners in Whitesphere Tactical as well, which is the on-site shop at all Rift events. And he's also the director of Whitesphere Company, which do the ammo, which I'm sure Jake will mention throughout the podcast.
Yeah, so I've been marshalling with Rift as well for about, probably 7 years at least, and then hosting as well some of the games. I kind of sub between you and obviously Tony. So yeah, and then obviously between the Whitesphere Tactical and Whitesphere Company as well. So a little bit of everything, but mainly through Airsoft and marshalling.
Cool.
Nice.
And then obviously Lance and Andy, you're back.
I'm back from outer space, baby.
Always.
Got my little bit of leave I had. Yeah, I nearly didn't make it last night, but a meeting was cancelled last knock-in, so it was a right touch. I was like, yeah.
Cool. How are we all doing?
Not bad. I'm M249less now. It's gone.
Idiot.
It was sold. It got sold. Not an idiot. No, I'm not. Shh.
You are an idiot. You'll regret that in a month's time.
No,
it's all right. We know some people that might be able to sell you one.
Maybe. I think we've got 3 or 4 of those at the moment, and we do 50% off as well. You know.
You know, it's gone to a good home. I don't know the chap personally, but his friend bought it for him over the phone, bank transferred me at the boot fair, so he's currently serving chap. So that's always good to see that.
Stripping it down for parts.
Yeah, don't take it out in the range or you will be laughed at.
Probably swapping it out for parts in the armoury. Get up and popping the A&K one on the shelf.
Yeah, it's fine. It's exactly the same. So yeah, that's all, the old boot fair went well at Driverwood, so that was quite good fun. Met some people. Got a T-shirt from Empire. Thank you, Empire, for delivering.
Oh, that's old school, mate. We wore ours last week.
Yeah, I had mine on before that, so whatever.
How are you, Andy?
Yeah, all right. Tired after last week. These two run me ragged.
Good.
Yeah, it was a busy weekend.
Yeah, it was a busy weekend.
Yeah, so obviously, people might not know what we had going on, but we had a weekender event, which was at Redcon 2 Rift Airsoft, and that was 600 people across the 2 days, roughly.
2 days, yeah.
And then that entailed people like Andy and ourselves just getting amongst it and running it. So 2 days on your feet, especially when you're not playing and got the adrenaline going, it can be a long 2 days. And then we also ran bomb dump as well on the Sunday. I got up at 5 in the morning after working until probably 11 that night on the Saturday. Went all the way down to bomb dump, and then played the violin.
Just about here playing.
So 3 game days on that weekend. Yeah, definitely tired a lot of people. I'm still recovering now. Actually, my eyes were still watering yesterday, so I'm finally getting around to it.
Fair play, mate.
Cool.
Nice. Good event in total, though. Yeah, successful week.
Yeah, it's very good, very good. A lot of happy people on there. It's hard, I think, on a game like that. You look at obviously like AI 500, and then you have like the NAE. As soon as you start getting into larger numbers, the amount of effort that goes into setting everything up and doing it all, and the quality of Airsoft itself can just go and it can become a social. But from what across the days, really, obviously every day has issues. You have a 20-player day, you get issues, but across the whole, there wasn't really any major problems, was there? Like nothing relating to actual gameplay of Airsoft.
Well, we had Andy out there,
Yeah, Andy's holding the fort down. Yeah.
No one
wanted caliber of the man, really, isn't it?
Sunday was nice though. I enjoyed that, being driven around all weekend. That was lovely. That was sitting on the top of the old Ethel.
That was nice. Yeah, it's quite a cool picture of you doing that. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed
big
that.
Big shit grin on your face.
Yeah.
Do you want to just explain who Ethel is rather than just?
No,
riding around on Ethel all day in the woods.
She's an 8-year-old from Bristol.
And she's loud, so you got to wear ear pro.
So Ethel is. What is Ethel?
So CVRT.
That's the one.
That's it. So it's not quite a tank, but again, myself, I'm a little bit about military, but nothing to do with tanks and stuff, man. Like CVRTs, I'm always light roller in airplanes and stuff like that. So for me, it's a tank. And a lot of people get really sad on it. They see it, but to any normal person that knows nothing about vehicles, as in military, it's a tank. It's it's got tracks and it's got a big bit on top of it. It looks like a tank, right? But it's made for CVRT. Is it a close target reconnaissance vehicle, I think, or whatever, something like that? It's a CVRT. I don't know what it is. Along those lines, it's basically micro tank for getting in and around, doing recce's and getting close and still being armoured.
Recce's, that's good to hear. Recce's, Mike. Recce's. Not recon, recce's.
Recce's, yeah. I know.
We've got guests on. I'm not going to say the rude words.
CVRT, I know I didn't do that right, but there's probably people watching this that are going, "Oh, this guy knows absolutely nothing." And you're right. I ain't going to pretend I know it. It's a tank, but the letters and the words that I've just said are in and around there. If I say it once more, because obviously Les there has put, "It's a tank." Yes, definitely a tank. Yeah, 100%. As simple as it gets, any right-minded person. But it's nice, it's good. It attracts a lot of people and gets a lot of different views. Some people obviously love the fact that we've got the vehicles. Marshals, not so much at times. It can be quite hard work. There's a lot of times where
making sure obviously everyone's safe.
Yeah,
there's a lot more different.
A lot of paperwork that goes into improving routes. Obviously you could go over a bush in one of these. You think obviously you're going to go to an airsoft site, and then a tank's going to come rolling over. You've got a ghillie laying a bush somewhere that's just going to get absolutely squashed. So obviously we have strict routes to go around. We have strict places that you can be. We have a team of marshals that follow, and they're almost, the bigger vehicles are swamped into like a convoy essentially, so they can't just go on their own kind of thing. They're obviously following that trap route. But it does obviously bring a lot into it as well. A lot of immersion when you're playing, a lot of different aspects for you to get behind it, to get in it. If you want to jump in and drive around in it as well in the back and be taken to where you need to be.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it is there's a handful of marshals that spend every weekend trying to repair it and trying to keep it up and running and
keep it going.
Keep it going, keep Ethel, moving, bless her. It is a hard job, I guess. But
James C says armoured personnel carrier, not a fucking tank.
Oh, definitely a tank, James, definitely. Yeah, look, mate, you've never seen one of these. I don't know what you've seen, tank. This is a tank, right? This is a tank.
Yeah.
You can put water in it and it holds the water. That's fine. That's a tank.
Put fishes in it, definitely, 100%.
Cool. Well, we're joined by a fair few people in the chat. So hi, Danny, Kieran, James C, Kenny, Pegasus, Marky Mark, Rage says he's going to catch up later. So we'll see you later, Rage. Les, frontline events. Hi, lads. Hi, Jake. That's obviously
nice going, mate. You all right? Yeah, I know.
Marky Mark says, my new Titan Charger turned up today. Very surprised on how small they are. Ooh. I haven't seen the new Titan Charger. I'll have to give that a look. Anyone got experience of the Titan one?
No, just the batteries, man.
Not the chargers, the batteries, but...
I've got to use that Turnigate charger. I've had that for years. It's been spot on. Auto selects your battery when you put it in, plug it in, all that. So that'll do me. Idiot proof, that's what I want. Yep. Keeps me safe.
That's what I got.
Forgot my username says split the difference infantry fighting vehicle.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Lewis Pittaway says, yes, Rift.
I don't know. Never heard of him. Never heard of him before in my life.
Who's this guy?
Steve says hello as well. So, Andy, you were saying about you've bought something.
Oh, yeah, not much. It was only a chest. Am I allowed to show chest rigs? I'm guessing I'm allowed to show chest rigs.
Yeah, you can show your chest. No. I can't show your chest. But you can show chest rig.
Oh yeah, we're not having that awkward boobs moment again like we did a few weeks back, are we?
Oh no, boobs. Just something to carry my AK mags around when I get an AK. So I've bought stuff for an AK that I don't have.
You brought the cheaper thing first, so then when you buy the more expensive, it's less of a blow.
Yeah.
Just got to run around with it, drag it around in the mud.
You don't know he's actually going to carry Lance's AK mag around because Lance has an AK. Andy has the mag carrying capabilities. So
I've got one mag. So you can, I've got one mag for it.
Yeah. So a single pocket would be fine.
That's all we need. Yeah. You don't really need any kind of carrying capability because you have one in the weapon, unless you're planning on loading them in the hop on their own. I think.
This AK-47 is crew served. I've got one magazine and 9 pouches across 2 people to carry it.
Bring up
4
the
pockets full of ammo. Just loose.
Handfuls of it. Just fucking handfuls of it.
Oh dear. Cool. Right. Well, any other Pews news?
No,
Lance has got rid of a gun. Andy's gained
got rid of a
something
gun.
to carry mags that he doesn't have. You're doing well.
And he's bought a chest rig that he has nothing to put in it.
Nothing to put in it. Looks good though.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, can't be a bit desert town, mate. Always good.
Well, me and
I'm not even sure he's made it.
Come on, Jake,
and
Steve.
Steve have
You
just got,
bring it up.
me and Steve have just got ourselves our dream weapon finally. To be honest, I know it's like a bit of a plug, and it's like not gloating, but we since we ever first met each other, back in the day, we was on the range at Cottenham, and I've been marshalling for a little bit of time. Steve, I think you were just marshalling at the time, so you hadn't hosted at that point. And there was a guy at Camo Raids. Most people know Camo Raids. And he got the new 416 Delta, the TM Recall, on the table. And me and Steve, marshals in, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed marshal that used to play quite a lot. We were looking at it going, wow, what an absolute weapon. Like, this is something we want. And we went out in the week, and we've kind of said, for years we've said, look, we'll get it. We don't play enough to warrant getting one, and it's just too expensive. But after the weekend and everything, kind of, we keep it quite clear with the way we do business at the moment, because me and Steve are still working our own jobs. Growing White Suit Tactical at the moment is absolute priority. So none of the money comes back to us yet. We're not sitting on any, money that we've obviously taken in. We're just trying to grow the business. But we did treat ourselves to the two TMs. So for the first time in ages, brought myself a new weapon, because I've been playing since I was 12, and the last time I purchased a rifle to use was probably the Vector, which come out a good 6 years ago. Yeah. So we finally got ourselves a TM Recall. However long it's going to sit on the shelf and gather dust for, really.
They're currently having the back end swapped out, so we can put Deans in it.
Put a Deans in there rather than the silly old TM adapter. Yeah. But
the lovely weird batteries.
Yeah, it's one of the things that a lot of companies seem to do now. They make parts that are specific for that weapon and their brand, so you have to buy specific for that weapon and then chuck another $5 on it. It's good marketing, but there's a workaround for everything, isn't there? So, but yeah, that's our our weapon news. So
probably not going to use it till 2022, 23, but
it'll be, sure it'll come
just got to leave it 6 years now to rest a little bit. Just let it rest.
Yeah. Let it bed in a bit. Absorb the just bask in it.
That'll probably be worth more money actually. No, then all the prices would have gone up on
it. Investment. So once someone managed to buy a rifle and actually not have the missus nag at me for it being like, why am I spending some money? Because I'm like, well, it's not our money. It's all right.
For the business.
It's business. It's not our money.
It's a work expense now. That's fine.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll put it for the company, won't I?
Yeah.
Pegasus says they've heard you and Steve have some nice optics on the way as well.
Oh, not yet. Maybe. Maybe.
Because the missus might watch this.
I haven't told her that. Optics.
Wait, this is a pre-recorded show.
I've got my glasses here. I don't know what you're on about. That's as far as it goes, really.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Cool. Right. We'll briefly talk about our competitions. Andy, do you want to just reiterate all of our exciting things that we've got happening?
Yes. So we've got two
Yes, I do.
Yes.
competitions. Yes. Hang on. I'm loading it back up on my phone because my phone died. So we've got two competitions. Well, one's a competition, which is build your own plate carrier.
Yep.
So it's basically, we've got the drawings up on our website, which Mike will throw across the bottom any second now.
Yeah, 2
as
seconds.
A hint. So build your own plate carrier, send a photo of us. It can be made out of anything, spaghetti, cabbages,
finish my one.
You want.
It's all
But
finished.
yeah, it can't be.
Yeah, it's all finished. Look how good I am.
But it can't be something that's pre-made like that one. And you can.
What if I spray paint it?
Yeah, and you can win the Chronos scope and some Edge eyewear, I think.
And a patch.
Is on that, and a patch.
It's very exciting.
So that's a good one, and just have a laugh basically. And then the other one is for, I can't remember who it's for. Who is
so
it
it's for the RBLI.
The RBLI.
British Legion.
That's the one. My phone keeps dying on me. Which is basically a raffle. So if you donate some money to them using the link on our website, let us know and we'll give you a raffle ticket to win some lovely prizes that have come through to us, including Vortex, pistols, an LMG, was it?
Yeah, from Cybergun, from courtesy of Range Right.
And more edge eyewear and some more scopes.
Underpants,
yep. Step ones.
Underpants, day sack.
Jake and Steve, there was a whole episode about underpants that we did. Hence why we're giving away a set of underpants.
Boobs.
So,
no questions.
We'll go back and watch that one. Sure.
Don't judge, right?
Yeah, no, don't watch that one because that puts me in a really bad light. That episode.
No, it doesn't. Does it?
No more than normal.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, that was expertly given. Thanks, Andy.
I wasn't ready.
Definitely rehearse
Jake
that
and
in front of the mirror.
Jake and Steve, do you want to tell us a bit about your background and how you got into Airsoft, and then subsequently Rift, and then White Sphere Tactical?
Yeah, do you want me to go first? I'll go first. So basically, I got into Airsoft. I was about 12 years old. So that was 2002. Been playing pretty much since then. The last 10 years, obviously, Rift's kicked off. I've been doing marshalling alongside my dad, hosting the events. And roughly the last, I'd say, 4 years, I've been full-time Rift. So I left my day job, and just did stuff between weeks. Obviously, hire guns don't maintain themselves, and all the cleaning the masks and
got to clean those masks.
Got to clean those face masks and everything for the old hire kit. But yeah, so I was playing since the age of 12. I remember being very scared because back then FPS and dual limits weren't really looked at as much as they are now. So being a 12-year-old lad running around knowing the snipers out there with 700 FPS like bolties was a bit scary, and seeing fully grown men screaming thanks Dad for taking me to that. But always enjoyed it. And then I did various jobs, warehouse jobs, things like that. I worked in transport, but basically a following grew with what my dad was creating. We had a bit of land that we used to just kind of knock around on, so to speak. And then it got friends. So I invited friends. I used to bring my friends along who I used to go to school with. And slowly but surely it ended up being from 15 players to nearly 40, 50 players. And my dad, Tony, was a bit like, well, I need to get public liability insurance. I need to actually proper start, do it properly. And it got to the stage of where we ended up getting a second bit of land, and then Rift was created as an actual business. And then it just kind of boomed from there, really. And now, obviously, as Andy knows, he follows us around a lot. Rift's got really, really big. It's fantastic. It's a family-run business. Pretty much most members of the staff through catering. Jake again, just everyone, just a family-run business basically. So it's really nice and close and compact. We've got a lot of sites now as well. We're always looking for more. But yeah, I just don't get to play as much as I used to. In fact, the last time I did play was the Redcon Christmas game last year, and I was an elf. I was an elf running around. Yeah, and my gun died.
That's all you need. Once a year, be an elf. Happy days.
Yeah, be an elf. And my go-to gun died, and I ended up using a rental for half the day. So yeah, that's the way it goes. And obviously, Jake, you've been with us for what?
About 7 years.
Yeah, it's been about 7 years.
2014, I think. I went back to you guys.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So yeah, for my happy mate. Yeah, for myself, everyone starts playing at 12, really, don't they? I think that's when it seems to be the go-to figure at the moment, as much as licenses and insurance can be. I started playing, about 12. Kind of stopped as I kind of went into the military for my job. I signed up when I was 15. About 2009, I signed up, and then I joined, and went through the whole pathway and wonderful career that still is today. And I'm still serving, but I am now kind of looking to kind of move on from that. The biggest problem I found was when I stopped playing Airsoft to get into the military was the kind of negativity that everyone had towards it. So it was kind of like this grey area I never spoke about. I didn't really mention to anyone that I ever did Airsoft, even though, I was just a 12-year-old kid, wanting to, if I'd have said paintball, it would have been totally different. But, Airsoft, it's just something that it didn't really mention. Part of my first unit I went to, I was a Fusilier initially. We got posted to Cyprus and Germany. So I didn't really come home. I didn't play Airsoft for years, and kind of fizzled away, really. The whole aspect of doing it was just gone. whenever I was back, I was too busy seeing family and friends, and then going out having a drink, that kind of thing. So I didn't have time to play. My unit then got disbanded, and I ended up having to pick where to go next. So I was always infantry from the very beginning. And one of the places a lot of people wanted to go to was Parachute Regiment. They all thought, right, let's do it, let's go and do that. But obviously only a select few actually went across. So when I was 18 years old, I actually went. So I was only about 2-3 years in the first unit I was in before May disbanded. I went and did P Company down in Catterick as a direct transfer to Parachute Regiment. And then went into the Parachute Regiment about 2018, 2019, which was about 6 years with them until, not 2018, 19, sorry, when I was 18 and 19, until 2018, 19. So it was quite about 6 years of being with them. I went into Recce, and I think on that time of being with them, being based in Colchester, having a lot more time to come home, my friends and family were like, you can come home whenever you need to. I've still got contact with a lot of people I didn't speak to anymore. And my mates that used to go airsoft, mentioned, let's go airsoft again. And I was thinking, I'll give it a go. I'm on leave, why not? And by sod's law, the one time I'd played in probably 3 years of not playing at all was Rift. And from that point onwards, I played pretty much every weekend for about a year. At which point, at the end of it, 6 months after doing it, I was part of the marshal team. I was marshalling once a month, and then playing the rest. Then it was marshalling twice a month, and playing the rest, and then it was just marshalling full time, and then never playing. And that was probably
that's how you get sucked in.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. So
you wait, Andy. What?
When I used to go away with work, so I spent until 2018 with the Parachute Regiment. I was recce after 6 months of being in, and I stayed there. And then I wanted to kind of do something different, and I wanted to do something a bit more real. Everything in the military is just training and just pretend, and it's actually a bit more boring than airsoft at times. So I was like, let's do something.
His words, not ours.
The real military is crap. It's boring. It's boring. Sit in the bush for weeks and just wait and watch. Especially recce. Christ, I'm just a glorified peeping Tom. That was it. I sit in the bush and watch people for weeks.
Loads of good kit to play with.
Yeah. Dig a hole, sit in it. I mean, it's every kid's dream. But when you get in the real world, actually. So I transferred to med in 2019, which is when that kind of changed. And I've been doing med stuff ever since. I'm part of 16 Medical Regiment now. And I'm with having my kids and stuff, that kind of is all changed. I kind of want to step away from it. I want to not be part of it anymore. I'm working from home at the moment. And obviously I have this time I've got with the whole paternity leave I've had. I've now obviously bounced on with Rift so much where I'm doing absolutely every event I can. I've been hosting now for about 4 years, so I host pretty much 2 games a month, kind of swapping around with you. You do all 4, and then obviously with some weekends we have 2 sites running, so we have 2 different sites going, which is a ball lake for Steve to pack the vans and sort the hike it out. I'll just come and pick the van up on the day, drive it, and do the game, and then Steve has to clean all the weapons and all the masks after. So my working in the week is still my own work, but I've used my extra time whilst being at home to obviously create Whitespear Company and Whitespear Tactical with obviously Steve. And that kind of brings me on to the rest of it really, which is, again, about a year ago, I kind of wanted to push myself into the kind of retail and wholesale part of Airsoft and kind of do something, which I've been saying for a long time. Having quite a lot, I'd say a lot of experience in a military background, I wanted to kind of do something for myself, and I got out, and I've tried to lay the foundation for that now, really. So Whitespear Company is a wholesaler for its own bespoke products. Like we've got some really nice shoot belts, we've got some nice body armor, we've got a lot more things coming on the way. We've got some things that are like quite junior range, so like I would say entry just level holsters and caps, that type of thing, and just speed loaders, your generic essentials. We've got iPro that's coming, that's fully ballistic certified, and it's going to be all logoed up with Whitespear Company. And as a lot of people know, during the start of this year, Combat UK kind of pulled away from Rift, from our retailer on site, due to I think it was kind of just difference in opinions and things, and wanting to go down the wholesale route and stuff like that. And we still have a very good relationship with those guys today. But that left a gap for us to kind of step in and say, right, we need to have a shop, which is where me and Steve kind of come together and said, well, look, it'd be really good if we could do something on this, because we're at every event, because we run it. We run all the Airsoft events. So let's do something that we can kind of, do the retail side of it as well. So that's where Whitespear Tactical was born from. And that's kind of been obviously the retail outlet for a lot of the Whitespear Company stuff. So it does confuse a lot of people when they go, hang on, you've got Whitesphere Company, you've got Whitesphere Tactical. The tactical is the retail and the outlet, and the company is the kind of method behind the madness that's just kind of doing the crazy stuff in the background. And we sell obviously through to Whitesphere Tactical. So at the moment we're only on site, and we're only a shop that obviously does Rift. And we've done some of the events. For example, we did the West Midlands Airsoft Fair, and we were looking at doing NAE or NAF as it's called now, but that kind of just changed with how busy we were anyway, getting ready for our own weekender. Obviously that Rift is priority, and that comes first. So for us to obviously make sure the players have got what they want, we just try and stock everything that you think you would need on the day, whether it's thread adapters, new kit because your previous was falling apart, boots, or the Gucci gun that you've been looking at for 6 weeks. And we try and give it we say as best we can, but obviously as everyone knows in retail and with Airsoft, some of the margins on things aren't the greatest, and it all depends on how much you're buying. If you're looking at a patrol base that's buying hundreds and hundreds of rifles and they're getting them at such a margin that we can't compete with, obviously we have to do retail at what we do. But so far it's been good, and I think obviously we're trying to just give the same thing we do for Rift, which is that fun, friendly airsoft, and we're just trying to be that kind of friendly airsoft shop, which is kind of like, we've always got a smile on our face, we'll try and help you out, we're not here to scam you, we're not here to we like to chat to you, we're airsofters, and we run the games for you, you know who we are. So we've kind of got a little bit of
to tick as many boxes as we can.
Yeah, and because I think as well with me and Steve at the moment, obviously we're he's my brother-in-law, and we're quite close and we're family. But we also work pretty much, again, we're together now, look, you know what I mean? It's like we're sat on the sofa in the same screen. We're at every event. People probably see us every weekend or every time we're there together, and it's obviously us guys. So it's just, it works quite well. And I think there's something we've got going, obviously, with the shops and that. Hopefully in the future, we'll get a physical store and we'll push things a bit more forward into the future and kind of develop it from there. But yeah, no, it's that's kind of it really, from the very beginning of a 12-year-old little boy playing airsoft. For both of us really, it's gone into help marshalling, do the run the games, and obviously gives us quite an extensive knowledge of.
But it's still great because it's still our hobby, it's still our love interest, so to speak. It's still
because we've obviously got our own. Obviously Steve's own job is obviously Rift, which mine isn't. But that means that the shop kind of things is just a little bit of fun really. So it means that if people are looking for things, we want to get them for them. We can we can work things and we can do things in different ways, and we're not chasing money. So it's not stressful to us. It doesn't put us. It's quite nice to see people around the shop. And obviously it's quite nice to see people from Rift. See people from Rift engaging in that as well, and not having to worry about it doing well really, or just doing what it's doing, because we've got our own kind of things that we do anyway.
I mean, that was going to be one of my questions to you now, was like going with the shop, and then obviously the White Sphere part of the business, has that sort of removed an element of the fun from airsoft? But from what your answers are given, it's absolutely not.
So I think, again, with us, like we said earlier, getting the new weapon, again, I don't think I would have done it if it wasn't for this, and I probably would have just sat on what kit I've got and just made do, and maybe fell out of love. And after COVID, but before I had my second child, I was kind of looking at saying I need to do 1 or 2 marshalling events or hosting per month, because I was working all week and I was doing so much, and I was getting not seeing my kids on a weekend. If we have a Saturday and a Sunday event one each day, then I'm not seeing my kids in the week, because obviously I work away in the week sometimes as well. So I was finding it quite difficult, in my opinion. I was going to say, look, I need to pull back from this a little bit. But with the shop now, it's almost like I want to be at every event even more than I already did, and I want all the players at Rift to enjoy the day more, because the more they enjoy it, the more they want to go and engage with the people there. If they're having a bad day and they're going to storm off and sit in the car, then they're not engaging, obviously, with the shop, they're not engaging with us. And I think actually for us it's given me more reason to want to be at Rift than it ever has been. I want to be at every event. I want to be involved with absolutely everything that we can do. And it's made it a lot more enjoyable. It's very, like I say, very humbling. But it's nice to see people walk away, and also they know you on a more personal level, because they've seen us running games for the past, however many years Rift's been going, or however long they've been playing. So we have people come up and they go, oh, thanks for helping us and sorting us out today, and they give you a fist bump, and they're really interested in, obviously, the stuff they've picked up on that, and that's nice, because it's always good when at the end of the day, when you've been hosting and someone comes back and you're trying to pack away, but they want to talk to you about how the day's gone, and they want to have a chat with you and tell you how great they've enjoyed the day. And although you're trying to pack away, it's actually nice to hear that. It's nice to have that feedback and to go, oh, you really like that. It was a really good day. Because obviously we've had days, more so yourself, obviously. Steve runs a Redcon event, which is most of the time about 200 people in and around that remit, between 100 and 200 people, sometimes a little bit more. And I think, you know, we've had a couple of stressful days. Luckily, I've been running the other side, so mine hasn't been that bad. But you know, you have stressful days, and then you play on that for a week, and you go, oh, I hope it's going to be all right this weekend, because you do take it to heart. You know, it's like,
again, it's a family-run business, isn't it? So players, you know, they turn up, they play their game. If they get leery or whatever happens, or we're really lucky at Rift that we've got a very good community. You know, where 9 times out of 10, everyone's always got a smile on their face. I'm sure Andy has obviously spread the love with where Rift's concerned, and you know, we try to really push forward that community feeling and keep everyone happy. As I said earlier, tick as many boxes as we can. But what players don't realise is, I know we're running their games, and I know it's their hobby, and I know it's, you know, it's to them, they might look at it and think, oh, it's just their business. But honestly, we sometimes drive home very white-knuckled on that steering wheel with what players have, you know, it's just, let's be honest, you guys know, Airsoft is it's so easy to play, you know, but people, we're just guys running around in the woods with toy guns, you know, but people sometimes get a bit too excited with it all. Or,
you have days where like you're following like the same person around for the whole morning, and you think it's not even like 11 o'clock yet, and I'm like,
I'm already having a marker play.
I'm like, hang on a minute, guys, you should just be enjoying it, you know. And like you have the day and you get to like 3 o'clock and you think, oh god, this is a stint, this is a hard one.
Some people forget it's a game, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, you know, we try and do the same thing every time, and
reset.
We just we don't ever hold a grudge for the next time. So we don't come and go, right, one of you last week decided to do this, and then none of you can do that. No, because that's not how it works, is it? You know, that's not life, is it? And again, it's like having that same method of what we do. I feel like Rift's been around for long enough that kind of, you know, what we've done works, because otherwise we wouldn't be where Rift is. And I say we, I'm the third wheal in this situation. You know, it should be Tony here saying like we, because it's Tony and Steve, and I'm just the third. I'm the guy that hosts the other sites, you know. But again, the people rock up and we do the same thing every time.
Well, Andy,
and they love it.
Andy would tell you as well. You know, we have a system. Okay, it's not without its flaws, but we have a system that on a skirmish day, because obviously 99% of our games are skirmish events for literally anyone that wants to come along. You know, we have a system. Every marshal's got their hymn sheet, so to speak. You know, we have our way of doing things, our way of presentation, our way of you know, getting our point across. I know people are notoriously known for how long our briefings are, that they can be quite long. Can't they, Andy? But you know, it's there for a better day.
They've got better.
Yeah, it's a better day. But we really, one thing Rift has always done as well is really pride ourselves on our hire kit. You know, we get a lot of hire kits, on average between 20 and 35 hires an event, which is, you know, for some sites they get 4.
I mean, this weekend we've got 100 players, and I think 30 odd
hire kit guys, which is great because that's new blood into the sport. You know, that's where everyone started. But on the flip side, the hire kit guys are the ones that can maybe get things slightly more wrong, where even in the smallest of rules, like, you know, a little bit of blind firing or shooting people up and down the stairs,
dead man
talking, you know, little things like that, you know, which we really try to educate with the hire kit guys, and you know, again, suck them into that community that we've built.
You don't want to push them away by, you know, shouting at them on the first day and sending them back to the safe zone.
Yeah, back to the safe zone.
The guy doesn't even know what dead man talking means. He just wasn't listening to the brief for that bit of it. You know, he was picking his nose or whatever.
So we've always been, as I said, hire kit is a very strong point that we try to, you know, and it's great for us as well, the community we do have, bring those guys in so they talk to people at work. Oh, what do you do, Airsoft? You know, I'll come play at Rift. It's great, you know. And again, the more fresh blood we have in the sport is great because it continues to grow, and Airsoft just grows and grows and grows, doesn't it? Which
I think as well, like with us, it's like the marshals as well. It's kind of like, again, having that fresh blood of things, but one of our strong points, and can be a weak point at times, is our marshal team. And the reason why I say it can be a weak point is because we're so selective of who we have. It's not a case of like, I'm not trying to make it like an elitist thing, but we don't just say, oh, who wants the marshal? And then that's it.
Apart from Andy,
Andy, we let him in, but you know, we don't just say, who wants the marshal, you know, at the start of the day, or we're looking for more. It's a case of we watch people and then we see who we might think might be a good marshal or be a good candidate to marshal. Then we take them on board, shadow them, try and educate them a little bit, and then give them some leeway, you know, where things may go wrong. But we're very selective about stuff. So, you know, it's one of them really, that it can be a really good thing because obviously we're really switched on with that. But again, sometimes it can be a little bit hard because we want to get more marshals to run more sites, and it means we can be, I wouldn't say stretched thin. We just plan our events in a different way. So where we'd like to run more events, we can't because we just don't simply have the staff. Because if it's up to us, we would do double events and Saturdays, Sundays every weekend across different ones. But
we get the player count, don't we?
But the marshals would just burn out, and you know, if you're not doing like Steve, just cleaning masks in the week, you know, and wiping up your weapons down, because that's a job.
I'm telling you something now. Picking out facial hairs out of a high kick mask is not what people think running Airsoft.
You hope it's facial hair, yeah.
It's a really curly one. That's the worrying
about this long.
Yes, I do it. Yes.
When you're working 9 till 5 and that in the week, you know, and then you've got to do Saturday and Sunday on your feet all day, and then it's like, and then you get guys that are just moaning, and you've got to then chase them all weekend because you're following people. Then it can just be a bit of a dampener on you, and you can actually get a little bit like, oh, this is tiring, you know. So you know, marshalling isn't, everyone thinks being the marshal is going to be great. And it is good. It is nice to be involved in that. And you do become a little bit of an Airsoft celebrity.
But a negative player base can then bring you down as well.
Massively.
Do you find that? Do you find having the shop has he's left you. He's had enough.
He's had to. There's a monitor that's beeping at him.
Do you find having the shop now? Do you find that is taking more of your attention at the moment, or is that are you trying to build that?
I think where Jake's concerned, Jake does more of the pop-up shops, as he always likes to remind me. So he obviously does the bomb dump and the ridge, which is a very cold site, so to speak. It's literally completely, we turn up, it's a complete pop-up setup, we get there very early in the morning. So he, as well as getting all the riff stuff ready, has to do the shop. Whereas myself, who does Redcon and comms, as you know, we've got the little cabin there. So Tank, who does runs our shop during the day at comms, he gets there early, he sets most things up, whereas I do the riff things with the marshals. Redcon, I get the day before. The MOD very kindly let us there the day before to do setup. So I literally get there about 11 a.m. on the Saturday, set up the shop. It takes me about 6 hours because literally it's just an empty room. And it does take me a long time. We've built our kit up massively, and then obviously the marshals get there later on in the evening, and we start setting some other bits up. So for me personally, again, my dad owning Rift, Tony, and me being his son, obviously Rift is always #1 priority. As Jake mentioned, Whitesphere Tactical was almost just a gap filler, really, because we've got a big player base, especially at Redcon. You know, like as Jake said, between 150 to 200 players. You can't not have an on-site shop there.
You got numbers like that. You got to.
Yeah. So, and obviously only Airsoft. Again, taking a step aside and doing more wholesale. We had to fill the void, so to speak. And Tony was like, "Guys, I don't want to do retail. I've got no interest in retail. Do you want to do it as almost like a little side hustle?" But it's grown into a bit of a monster, to be honest. Like, we're getting orders throughout the week. And, you know, it's great. It is really good. But as I said, I host, 8 out of the 10 Rift games, so to speak, on a percentage-wise. And Rift and hosting that and running a good game day is always #1.
Mm-hmm.
Fair play, mate. I mean, so Steve, with you and Jake then, I mean, obviously that's your sort of White Sphere as like the retailer shop. I mean, how did you sort of like arrange your stock? As in, like, what was it you wanted to sell? Like, when you put pen to paper and sat down, like how did you get in sort of the tailor inside of bits and bobs like that for like your shooters belts?
Yeah, basically, obviously, because we've been running events for a long time, and we know we're very close to the guys at Only Airsoft. So I've spent many times I'm in their shop twice a week in Stevenage. You know, I get on really well with them. I know what does and doesn't sell. I've never done retail myself, but again, it's a little bit of a common sense approach with it. Like, you know, our first game day, we weren't going to rock up with just loads of TM recoils, were we? You know, it's a lot of speed loaders, face protection, gloves, hats. You know,
it's the essentials.
The essentials. Again, I'm going to use the term box ticking. You know, what do you need on a day? Spare batteries, you know. It's bits like that, really. So
one of the main things that Tony said, because obviously it all stemmed down to him, really, and he was obviously he's the main face of Rift, and he kind of said, look, we have a site shop there, and we want it to stock everything that the player needs within reason, but the main thing is the concern of the player. So it looks really good for a site if you have somebody rock up that's never been before and they realise, oh my God, I need knee pads now, or I need gloves, or they want something, or iPro to make their day better, or let's say your weapon breaks, or your battery just dies, or you got a malfunction, you've got something there that can obviously replace that. And the way we've kind of gone with it really from the beginning was just buy, again, the things like the glasses, the eye protection, the lower mesh, stuff like that people want, and things that may forget, like you forget your iPro, you don't want to then have to borrow a rental mask and be walking around in full face all day, because to me that would ruin my day. That would completely, I wouldn't want to play. And then it was a simple case of buying everything that sold again. So every weekend when I go through the website, and then we sit on the Monday night, because we have to get it ready for that Friday again, which has been quite a difficult thing to try and work in sometimes.
All these bank holiday Mondays we've been having.
Bank holiday Monday throws it out. And you're having to drive around the country.
Royal
to
Mail
pick
keep
up
going on strike as well.
Yeah, it's like, and then we made, and again, no hatred towards obviously any companies, but we made our first ever big order through ASG, and the complications of importing that from Denmark to get it here. We were sat waiting for stock for 4 weeks, and it was like we realised straight away that is never going to be an option for us unless we get to the point where we're not stocking for that weekend and we're buying in surplus to stock for maybe a month, and then we just, if it's out of stock, for example, it's out of stock, and we just buy again the next month. We simply just put everything in the basket in stock again. If it's sold out, we went a couple more, and we maybe grab a couple of different variations. And then it was things like weapons, and with the stuff like the weapons at the moment, it's grabbing whatever's in stock. Like we've got a lot of different wholesalers, and we're quite fortunate. We've got quite a few contacts because we're quite friendly with certain people in the Airsoft community that we know of, and we can almost get anything in stock as long as it's not a legacy item. So if it's in the market right now, we can get it. That's not a problem. Which means it's quite nice to just try and get the different stuff in. So we're trying, with the weapons wise, to just cater for everybody as well. When it comes to,
it's quite an eye opener, isn't it?
Really? Yeah. So when they look on something that sells, if you've had a weapon that sells every weekend, then we just keep buying the same weapon again until it's out of stock, until we can't get it anymore. Whereas if we've had something that doesn't go, then we just raffle. And a lot of people, for example, we had a really nice LCT G3. It was a £400 rifle at retail. Just really nice bit of kit, and everyone picked it up. Everyone wanted to buy it, but nobody actually brought it. Everyone was like, "I really want to get this. I really want it." But it's £400 solid metal, 5 kilo L3. G3 LCT. So we just raffled it. We were on a comms day. I think there was only 100 people, and we just raffled like a 400 quid gun, and it was like, I think we might have broke even on it, but because it was a bit more fancy, But that is still a risk as well. But at the end of the day, it's on the shelf, isn't it? So if we just can move the stock around and get something different, then that's great as well. So it's kind of really, there isn't a pure method to it, but if it sells, buy it again, and then try and fill the gaps of stuff that doesn't sell. And new stuff again can always, you think you've got everything, and then all of a sudden you'll look
a minigun pops up.
Yeah, the minigun. You're like, I have to get that. Yeah. Or the new Sekitor Astras, for example. They're amazing bits of kit. And I think we've had the TM recalls on the shelf for a long time. We've never actually sold one. And again, everyone kept saying to us at first, "Oh, when are you going to get TM in? Or you're going to get some other brands and get some better brands. When are you going to get TM in?" And we have not sold a TM rifle yet. We haven't. And we bought one. We brought one. We priced with a 5% discount. We've got membership as well, which is great. If you've got, if you're on the site and you want TM, but it's about having it. So it doesn't matter that we haven't, got it. We started with, a small table that we look back on our pictures, and we were dead proud of this little table that was like a little bit of Viper kit and maybe just the odd little bits of mags and here and that. And then now we've got an RPG on the wall. We've had 2 miniguns. We've got a full range of TM products. We've now got our own shooter belts and body armor in. So, it's just for what it is in 7 months, 6 or 7 months, is actually amazing. And it's no credit to us really. It's a credit to Rift and the players, because again, if we were doing this on our own without the platform we had, we'd be bedroom sellers, and I'd be sat with thousands of pounds of stock in the garage and no one would be buying it, and I'd be selling it dirt cheap to get rid of it. It's because we've got the foot traffic, and we're really fortunate of the environment and the people that we know to be able to get to where it's got so quickly. And hopefully it continues. Who knows? But I can't see why it won't. But
I was going to ask a question about your plate carrier. So obviously you've got the WSC Black Triangle Defender.
Yes.
Plate carrier. So that's sort of, I guess, the more premium of
so
the two that you sell.
What the idea is to try and keep it like there's different kind of categories. So kind of like what Viper do with the VX, Emerson do with the Blue Label. A lot of different companies have that type of 2 different ones. So the there's cheaper versions of stuff, or the generic, everyday kind of things are going to be just essentials, or just, random names that they'll be, obviously, to keep it in line, to make it easy to identify products. So we don't just say, oh, that's the chest rig or the plate carrier, and then there's like 4 different styles, and people are pulling the hair out which one we actually mean. And again, on the system for us as well. But then we have trying to go for the black triangle range, which is things that personally for myself, I would be comfortable using in the real steel work environment. So, for example, our gunslinger belt is, I've worn a Warrior Assault Systems belt for pretty much the past 5 years of my career, and I paid £100 for my belt alone, and then stocked it full of pouches and everything else I needed. And that's the type of thing I wanted to look at and try and develop for myself, because I've got a lot of people that I know still within the military that, again, I could start pushing this stuff to and say, look, this is a great bit of kit. In fact, one of the guys at this weekend who's going away on a course in Brecon, he literally came in on a Saturday morning to pick up the gunslinger belt to then use with work that he's gone off now to use. And another guy that was at a squaddy in the weekend, came into the shop, but he was actually a player as well and brought one for his work. So I'm trying to go for that premium range that I would say is effective for that, because I know not every airsofter wants and needs that. They want stuff that might break and they can replace again, and it's cheap and it's effective, but it does the job. But I know for a definite fact out there is. Look at Andy when his hand up. There's a few
Where's my fat man one?
Out there, that want a bit more Gucci kit, and I don't want to label my own brand as Gucci, because I think that's really just like egotistical. But I'm trying to just create something that's sturdy enough for what I would want to use it for. So, for example, our gunslinger's belt is a standard belt thickness. I think it's the 38mm thickness belt, so it will run through your belt loops, and it's got the Velcro inner that will then obviously your normal belt will sit on top of. It's got a 2 9mm and a single 5.56 mag carrier in it with Kydex inserts already in. Now, again, personally, I wouldn't need more than 1 mag on my belt, because the rest would be on my body armor. So I would have 1 in the belt, and then the rest on my body armor, and then obviously 1 in the rifle if I needed, and then 2 pistol mags, which is exactly the same low capacity that I would need to carry. It then comes with a dump pouch, which is obviously on the side. It's a nice mesh netted one. Really thick mesh as well. Nice. It's a good quality mesh. Yeah, really and then you get the IFAT med pouch, which is a bit more niche, but I didn't want to just throw more pouches on there. I wanted something that was a little bit different. So the IFAT med pouch is a simple med roll that's elasticated that you can pull out, which is then equipped with whatever you want to stack it with, whether that's a tourniquet, Celox, your FFD, any kind of packing or scissors or whatever. Yeah, that can all go into there. So again, for me, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'd obviously want to use.
He made it for himself, basically.
Basically, yeah. So I'm just kind of thinking, hoping that everyone's following my kind of dream and sight. But it's all made. The belt on the inner has got a Kydex runner through the belt instead of the Tigris, because the Tigris cost now for, again, it's all like wholesaling and manufacturing. The cost of Tigris inners has gone absolutely. That's the ones, they're them. The belt that we've got is slightly different. So that's the laser cut one, but I went for the thicker one, but that was the generic image that I could get initially when they were making them. So I've chosen a smaller belt that will actually fit through your belt itself, rather than so you could wear it with jeans. I know a lot of people, again, different colours here. If you're wearing MTP, then great, you want it to fit through an MTP kind of belt loop. But if you're buying the black or the green and you want to wear jeans, or you want to go for that kind of, a lot of guys that do a bit of covert look, then the belt will still fit through your belt loops as well, so you're not going to be stuck with not being able to fit it through on a pair of jeans. So again, I've gone for something that's a little bit more, but the material is 1000 D Cadura, so it's really thick as well. It's got a good quality to it. Whereas a lot of our other stuff, which is the non-black triangle range, is made by 500 D Cadura, so it's not going to be as thick, or it's not going to be as premium. But I'm trying to hit that kind of medium range of market where, I'd pay 100 quid for a plate carrier for the expensive one, the Defender, which again is what I feel is an appropriate price. And that's kind of done off the margin of how much it costs for me to buy in. And if I talk about the logistics for just 2 minutes, which will bore everybody, as it's Whitesphere Company, which is my company that makes it, we have to sell it to Whitesphere Tactical to then sell, because obviously it's a wholesale. So I will get that in the price, then I have to make sure I can sell it for a little bit to make money for myself from that company side of things, so I can order more things and develop more products. And then obviously myself and Steve will sell that at Whitesphere Tactical at our price. And currently these are sat at $119.99 RRP. And then you'll get a 10% discount on that if you have membership as well. So for a belt that's equipped with a Cobra buckle, your full molly belt with your inner Kydex runner, Kydex inserts, it's quite. I personally feel it's quite a good deal for what you're getting.
That's bloody good, mate. That is, to be fair.
I'd like to do more things like this as well in the future, and obviously go for it.
It's one of the first products,
really? This and along with the body armor and other things that is slowly going to get there. So I've got some other things coming in.
Do you want to talk us through the body armor, because that looked interesting as well?
Yes, let's do that. Oh, looking at kit.
Part of it's
you got lines all excited.
It's try not to outprice yourself as well. For example, we've got some nice VX things from Viper, and they're great, but it's affordability of what people want to spend for a sling. I've got the option to purchase some really nice MTP, really high quality slings, but they're going to be almost double the price of the Viper ones. So do I outprice myself from a market that I'm reaching, or do I just get a few? Do you know what I mean? So it's trying to find that balance as well between airsoft and realistic, and how much people are going to want to pay for the products that you're giving. But this one here, so this is our Black Triangle range body armor. It's kind of pieced together and designed by myself, but taken with inspiration from a lot of other places. As Andy's already said, it's a bit like the Agilite Systems one. Now this has got, again, it's Thursday Fedora, and it's got a laser cut Velcro molly across pretty much the whole front. So it means you can either go with the Velcro panels on the front if you want to do for the modular system, or you can just go with normal molly if you wanted to do that as well. Or you can double it up and have a molly with Velcro on top of that. It's got the quick releases tabs on the sides and the shoulders, so if you want to get it on and off, it's really easy to slip in and out of. You don't have to be battling to fight and get your body arm off. Which again, the old Ospreys. I remember the old issued Ospreys used to get with the poppers on. I can tell you now, no one ever released a shoulder strap. It was always over the top of your head, and it used to rub your face, rub everything, knock your eye off, and it was like nightmare. So again, this is supposed to be for ease of use. You've also got a nice little zip panel at the front, and you've got a little bit to put your admin bits in if you need to.
Is that is that a built-in admin pouch at the top?
Yes, there is. Yeah, there's a zip at the top there, which has got an admin. Yeah, so you can add little bits into that as well. That's quite deep as well. It fit your phone in there quite easy.
That's wicked.
It's also got shoulder panel straps that are removable. So if you want to go lightweight, you can strip this back. So some people as well, you can remove the side bits. So if you don't want to have them, you can have slimline ones that are compatible with that type of locking in system as well. I think Lumain at the moment makes some of the quick connects and quick releases for the Virtus at the moment. And there's a lot of companies out there which are making this kind of quick disconnect and attachment process quite easy. And so they're making a lot of modular parts for it, so you can obviously swap it in and out. And then obviously at the backside as well, it's got a nice laser cut molly throughout, so you can obviously add anything on the back that you need to. It also comes with two inner, not inners as in inside the body, but it's the inner facing part that touches your chest. It's got two really soft EVA foam panels. So they obviously you put your body armor in, but then you've got a panel to your chest. And that pads it out a bit, but they are removable, so you can just Velcro them off if you don't want them, go for slimline and just have your plate in if you wanted to, or you can have the padding on there as well if you want to have that and having a bit of extra comfy. But these were the prototypes. So I had this, and I've obviously had the gunslinger belts and other things. Now we are going to be ordering more in, but I've only got the cheaper versions that are available at the moment. This one's completely sold out, so we're going to get some more obviously in as it goes. No, it shouldn't be too long. It's balancing, trying to order in ammunition, belts, everything. There's just a plethora of things I'm trying to just kind of get at the moment, and trying to finance it all at the same time. And then along with the wait times that it takes to, the people obviously making these, that they are in China. It's not cheaply China made. It's people that are actually importing products from the USA, i.e. like the Tigris, which is USA made, to China to then manufacture them, because it's cheaper to do it that way than it is to own a factory in the UK or in America and make them in America. It's just the way it works. But yeah, so that's pretty much those really. But it's a nice bit of kit. I was surprised when it went online, because I was a little bit annoyed when they sold out. I thought I haven't got any more to showcase anymore, which is a bit gutted about. I was like, so it's like when the minigun sold, wasn't it?
Yeah, what a bad problem to have, mate.
It's like, damn, it's gone. I wanted to try it up some more. My plan is to kind of. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. My plan is to kind of do like the everyday range of stuff that you'll need at your airsoft sites, and then kind of hit that triangle range, hit that premium kind of market as well. Which personally, that's the stuff I would want to wear, and I think that obviously, the people in the environment that I work with as well might, want to sway towards buying. So yeah, it's one of those things. It'd be nice to see where it is in like 2 or 3 years' time. And obviously with that
hopefully
as well,
in my loft with a bit of luck by then.
Yeah.
One of those belts are coming my way.
The shop seems to grow. The shop will keep moving forward, and we'll just keep developing new stuff. And then, hopefully, I'd like to see myself up there one day with not a big name, but if I could reach like the Lumain and those type of names, I'll be over the moon. I think I'd be really impressed. But that's a big that's a big step forward.
You can't enter that into the build your own plate competition.
Technically, I think myself. One of the things I'm trying to do at the moment as well, is, I'm quite open with this because we are obviously a new company, and things like warranty. People are always asking, how does your warranty work? And what's the case if something breaks? So with us, with Watchfire Tactical, many people don't know how the old, warranty works with weapons, stuff like that. There is a warranty through the retailer, but as far as it goes with manufacturers, these guys are in China and Taiwan. They don't care. The manufacturer is not interested if you send it back to them and you'll never see it again. So it's kind of absorbing that cost yourself and finding a way to make it work. So we do anything we get back in, we try and replace or with another item or something of similar value. And we boneyard the ones that we get back in, because a lot of people love a boneyard.
People love
it.
Right?
And even if it's a bit less than the cost it costs for us.
People like to tinker.
They like to mess. We had a Winchester that came that was cracked in half. And we just put it up for less than anything out the box. It was just completely, the first person brought it, never been used. I wanted to have a play around with it, and then they brought it back and it was a bit wobbly. I got it out in the evening and it was just in half. It just snapped. Not even snapped. It just went to the range and it broke. So, and we put that in the boneyard and somebody brought that to obviously play with, which I never thought that would sell, So with us, obviously, we try and just look after everybody. And the same with the Black Triangle and the White Sphere stuff. If you're buying any of the products that are made, obviously, by White Sphere, as in White Sphere Company, and it's fabric, rather than sending it off and trying to do it, if there's things that rip or tear, I'm going to either replace it, or I've even brought myself my own little sewing machine, and I'm going to be able to tailor things on. So I spoke to Andy already, had a couple of things that may work for like a Mark II of the shooter's belt that may be improved. So again, I'm going to have a little play on that as well, and I've got my own sewing machine, so I can sit down and have a little, get my knitting show out and really sit there and try and have a little work. So if things break or they fray or they tear, I can replace or I can repair. And that's pretty much what would happen if you brought JJ's webbing. You buy a set of webbing from them and the straps come loose, so the molly pops off. You send it, they'll replace it or repair it. They'll get in the sewing. That's what they're there for. It's a military tailor. They do a lot of kit customization. So that's what I'm trying to plan and go for that kind of vibe with it, really.
No, fair play, mate.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well, we've got a few comments in that coming through the chat. So if anyone's got any questions for Jake and Steve, feel free to throw them into the chat.
Jake's covered pretty much everything. I think we're done. I've been looking around
Ryan says he's being posted to Cyprus next year and he won't be able to play for ages. Where Airsoft is the fun bits in the army without the bullshit.
Yeah, it is. Where in Cyprus are you being posted to, Ryan?
Yeah.
I was Decalia. I don't know if you know.
It'll come back.
It'll
come back.
He's got toilet and he's left it.
There's a couple other comments as well. Zach Gadd, hey guys, love White Sphere. The shop was banging on the weekender. Those Astras went so quick. And the one rule he finds that people just don't follow is semi in buildings or full auto too closely.
So. But it's one of those that we do, obviously, with Airsoft. I know we're going to go back on our rules and stuff. We do obviously say single shot through the windows and doors, and we always say single shot when close, The truth of it, it's not a law, and it isn't, a solid
A lot
rule.
of sites don't even say anything about single shot.
We just do it because it makes it easier and it's safer. So, you're at the side of a window or building or what for whatever reason, and you start shooting full auto, and it's a bit dark in there. You don't realise you've pushed your barrel into someone's cheek and you're shooting them their eye pro. It's something like that, It's a simple case of you may not be able to see what you're shooting at and make it a bit easier for you to come off the trigger in case there's a situation where you need to stop. But and also a bit painful. A lot of people don't like it. We have a lot of people that come and they're younger, and a lot of kids that get dropped off by the parents and stuff. And it makes it more of a friendly environment.
We are very clear as well. For, as I said, one of the strengths at Rift is the new blood, and we always say use single shot unless you need to use full auto at distance, and then hopefully that's a foothold for them. That's how they get into the sport, just using single shot.
On the flip side to it as well, there's also that excitement you get and that panic when you don't know what mode you're on, single shot or nothing, and someone comes around the corner and you're just going for it. I remember when I played at Rift years ago. I say years ago because it was. And I was running at somebody full frontal, and I must have been within 2 meters, and I was still going full auto, and I was like, why are they not taking it? And it turned out my mag fell out, but I was on full auto, and the marshal was like, single shot, and I was just seeing red, and I was going, and I thought, thank God my mag wasn't in, because that guy would have been sprayed. But it's just what it is. My mag obviously fell out, so it's fine, which is more to the point of why I was thinking, why am I not hitting this guy? And
Andy shouted it as well. We always get all the marshals. without giving the game away. You know, if you see a red on one side of the wall and blue on the other side of the wall, just give a little look away, but just a single shot in close, guys. Single shot in close. You know, almost not as a giveaway, but it is because you don't want people to get hurt.
You end up looking cross-eyed, trying not to look at them, and then shouting in the distance. People think you're all weird having a moment, looking off in the sunset.
I just look up. I just look up at the sky. I'm like that.
I've walked around the lounge. You're doing that a lot, to be fair, Andy. You know?
Well, yeah, that's it's not even an airsoft. That's just life. I just like that the whole time.
You don't want a flock of birds to fly over, do you?
Yeah.
Forgot my username said Bristol Airsoft had a TM recoil on the wall for years before they gave up and tried to raffle it. Turns out they didn't get enough tickets to raffle it, so it never even got sold.
Well, we did all right the weekend. We've got some money for charity for our one as well. So we did cover the cost, but we did have a lot of people there. So we're gonna, when it comes to the British Legion and the Poppy Appeal, we're gonna throw some bits into probably the Army Benevolent Fund and some to the Poppy Appeal. But we've got some more fundraiser stuff that we'll do for them.
We'll announce.
So we'll just top it up and then keep going and then move forward. So
I think the thing is, when the TM recoils are concerned, it's something that's always been really close with us, isn't it? Yeah. It's something where, when they came out in 2000, whatever year that was, 2016, 15, when we first saw them, there's so many, like, again, the Secutor, Astras, you know, there's so many.
It's changed now. That was like,
changed.
That
the
looked,
TM recoil was the one.
When you saw that, it was incredible. Whereas now, we can get a double barrel for half the price that looks exactly the same.
Right. And I know it still fires really well.
It fires great.
And the mags ain't 40 quid a mag.
If you don't care about that recoil point of it or the name, then, and you know, and again, we've all been new to Airsoft at one point. And when I was young, which is more naive than obviously when you ever were, to me it was a gun, and it was, well, I've got an M4. And that was it. All right, I've got a UMP, and that was it. It wasn't you've got an M4, but this one is double barrel, or I've got an M4 and this one's the TM one. You know, it was just rifles. I didn't know what they were. I didn't care. I just shot them. You know, it was what it was. Whereas now, obviously, it's developed into more of what brand are you wearing, what brand are you using.
Well, they're all competing with each other, aren't they?
And then, again, when it really started in the UK, like we said before, about 1991, and now it's still really junior in theory. This is a junior sport, you know. It's not really.
It's growing.
Yeah, there's still room for growth in this, and there's still things that are coming out which are innovative and completely different than things you've never seen before. And you look at it and go, I've never seen that. That's interesting. That's new. And I think it will only keep going that way at the moment, as long as it doesn't get stopped or canned anytime soon, which I hope not, because that's pretty much our two main jobs there gone. So
all the eggs are in one basket there, aren't they?
Yeah. There's not really much else I can do. We'll be selling gel blasters next. That'll be it. We'll get them.
Laser tag.
Yeah, laser tag. Yeah.
So moving on a bit then, guys. So where are you chaps? Obviously, with your obviously you run your skirmish days and stuff like that. But are you two ever sort of dab? I mean, obviously you, Jake. I mean, you do it you get paid to do it. So I'm talking sort of like a MilSim event. Is it interested you guys at all? Have you taken part in many, or
the short answer is yes.
On that.
So we I planned the one that was at the Ridge a couple of years ago, and that was the last one before COVID kind of happened and everything kind of fell through. And we have had a mini meet and kind of chatted about what's going to happen with the next one, and it has been confirmed and it has been booked. And I believe Steve knows the dates better than I do. The dates are
the 22nd, 23rd of
October. That's the one.
At Redcon.
At Redcon. So it's going to be held at Redcon. So the past ones we've done some all over the place, all different sites. It's the weekend before Comic-Con, so I know that. And we did one at the ComSite 3. We've done one at the Ridge. We've done two at the Ridge, and we're now going to try it at Redcon because we didn't have that site past time when we went to try it. We were in the process of planning one a couple of years ago, and then obviously COVID, the rules got back into it, and we were kind of thinking, how can we get people to sleep in close proximity and have the COVID rules? It just didn't work. And that brings me on to the next point, is that the next one that we're going to do at that date is going to be an overnight one again. So as we did with the one that was at the Ridge, this will be a kind of a late start on the Saturday through to the evening, and then finish probably, well, I say it's all approximate at the moment, but it'll finish on the Sunday, maybe like 3 o'clock-ish, 3 o'clock, and we'll just see how we get on. There's not much that's been confirmed that really we can say as such of the gameplay and everything else. But the bits that we do know is obviously it's going to be Redcon, it's going to be overnight.
We'll have some vehicle movement.
We are going to have vehicle movement.
F will be there again for you,
that's
Andy.
Right. And we're also going to have 3 teams. Now I know people that know about Rift that are like, oh, well, we have 3 teams anyway. Normally you get your Alpha and your Bravo, and then you get like the Rogue team. which is almost like just a section rather than a full team. But we're going to do 3 full teams, and they're probably going to be at around about 40 people per one. So a little bit bigger than a platoon size. So we're going to kind of go into that. And that's because the land there can afford it. It's a lot bigger space at Redcon than it has been at our previous sites. And that's pretty much it, really. And obviously, everything I've said there could be, subject to change at any point because you never know what the MOD.
The MOD have allowed us to run an event there those 2 days.
Yeah. So as long as we've got that there, we're going to do something along those lines, and we're going to sit down and put heads together. Try and make it. And again, with the Rift Sims of us, they're not full like MilSim. It's almost like we had a bit of novelty to it. We make up a story scenario like they all do, and trying to do something different again that we've kind of worked on what we've had before, but keep it simple and just keep it as realistic as you can be without the boring bits, like we've just said before. As realistic as you can be to the whole military side of it.
You did want to get everyone tabbing across the runway.
Yeah, I did.
At one point,
I had this idea of getting people kitted up,
absolutely,
and tabbing across the runway to do like a proper night. Like do the full lot. But I think that's kind of
100%. No, definitely do it.
No, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Andy, you up that? A nice 10K tab.
Definitely.
I'll be up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll do a Kazivac as well, right across the runway.
We've done that before.
We've done that. Fine, Christ.
The guy that we were
Jesus,
Kasavacking just threw up us. We put him back down.
He literally going back to the fob, and he was just like, ooh.
It was like that the whole way.
You look very green for a dead person.
We're gonna try and do some different stuff. Like there are things that we've done before that the real hardcore MilSimmers will go a bit like, oh, all right. But we have to try and keep it safe because again, it's almost introducing of people that just play skirmish all day into kind of a little bit of sim is what I think.
That's why we call it Rift Sim, not MilSim, so to speak. So it's our spin on it, basically, or Jake's.
It's not like when you guys hark back to like when you get you accommodate all the new players and like rentals and that so much because obviously it brings them into the sport, and then obviously you do a few skirmishes and you start hearing people talking about weekend events and MilSims and things like that, and it progresses on. So it's a nice steady flow, bringing people into MilSim and that as well. So it works.
We've also got another event as well, which will also be at Redcon. A lot of people ask this question, and we've done a couple of comms, and people have absolutely loved them. Which is basically a undead like zombie night on November the 19th. That's not on the website yet, so this will be the first time.
This is the first time anyone's going to hear about it.
Yeah, the MOD exclusive. I like that.
The MOD have again allowed us. 19th of November. That'll be an undead experience.
That'll be a Saturday, I believe. Running to late night Saturday, but not overnight. So it will end. It will end on the Saturday night, and there'll be an option potentially for people to stay.
Those that played the Redcon
and stay on the Sunday.
We've had some scary moments.
So you have like a Saturday event, and then it
so this will be a
overnight camp and then Sunday
zombie
event.
night, and then skirmish the next day. But the zombie experience we do is basically again there's a bit of a backstory. We have lots of volunteers, which we're very appreciative. All zombied up, and they'll be out there, and they'll be
shoot me in the face.
So we've done a few different themes, haven't we? So we did one that was years ago. It was like World War II Nazi zombies, and that was at comms, and that was where you patrolled round and you had to kind of fight the undead. And then we did one at Harmer Green, which was an old scout site, which was just woodland, and that was incredible. That was really good.
You couldn't see the hand in front of your face.
As a martial player leading the team that knew what was going on, I actually was squeaky bum at times. I was like, I ran through the trees one way with my team, and I had this chainsaw come one way, and I thought, cheers, nice one, I'll run that way. And there was another chainsaw guy behind me that I had no idea about as we started to run back. And
no blades in the chainsaw.
Yeah, no blades.
No blades.
And when we were setting up for that night as well, this is I still laugh on this today, because when we were setting up for that Harmer Green event, we had this big dummy, this woman, and it was like a mannequin, and I hung her in the trees, and so as you walk through, there's like a woman hanging. And some walkers came through, which shouldn't have been because it's private land. And they called the police. They called the police, right? So I was on the front gate of the of Harmer Green to check the people in. This was about 7 o'clock at night, or whatever it would have been, 5 o'clock at night. And I'd got the checklist out. Next car pulls up, and again it's almost dark, so I couldn't see. Next car pulls up, and I go, "You all right, guys? Well, can I take your names?" And as I look, there's like fluorescent patches on the vehicle, and it's a police car. And I went, bloody hell, so that's some costume, isn't it? I said, you come put it down. And they went, we're here to talk about the body hanging in the trees. And I was like, oh, right, okay. I apologise. Sorry, I thought you guys were here to play. And then I had to take them in and show them the woman hanging in the trees. And then they were like, what is it? And they said, can you take it down? I said, well, it's really for the scenario. And it is private land, so you can't walk. You're not supposed to walk across here. And they said, okay, is it just for tonight? And I went, yeah, just for tonight. And they went, not a problem. Can you take it down in the morning? And I went, yes, we will. And then they left it at that. But literally, so yeah,
cracking costume.
The police called, which is a good tick in the box. Whoops. So we'll try and keep this one again. It'll be as scary as you can do when it's airsoft and that, but it's got to obviously make people jump a bit. You know, I've got to.
100%.
One of my most favourite games I've ever played was a Battle Station Activity Centre did a MilSim in Longmoor that was zombie themed, and it was wicked. And I've never seen anything played like that since. Like, I think there should be more zombies in.
Yeah,
we all role play.
The more different, the more different stuff we could do, the better. Like I've said before, I'd love to do like you've got the space for it, but even like a sci-fi theme. You know, if you want to rock up and wear whatever and do kind of like an alien kind of invasion type of thing, that'd be great. But how are you going to do that? You know, you've got to find somewhere that's willing to let you shoot people around a futuristic looking environment, which is just never going to happen, is it? So
I think you need like a Chernobyl themed one. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the moment.
I love a realistic event, if you like. You know, like a bit of realism to it. I do like a real theatre sort of type event. I love all that, but you know, I certainly wouldn't be shy of taking part in like a proper survival event sort of thing where you've got a very minimal kit, just dumped out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
got to get to this checkpoint and evade these people and stuff.
Look,
that would be
do like the whole.
I'd love to do that.
The whole player and no one kind of stuff before.
And it's just like, as long as there's a tank for me to ride about in, I'll be.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll find it.
I've
done it once.
We used to do on our private days. We did the odd like player unknown where you'd have to like go and find your ammo kind of thing, and you'd only start with a bit, and then But it's hard when everyone's got their own kit and
they want to use their own kit.
You can't take the kit off them. But if you could script some kind of event where it was like a SEER event, like Escape and Evade, so that'd be very good. Yeah, definitely. I think I would love for that.
Like
Almost like type on the run from it. You almost want to be able to rent out the whole of Brecon beacons and just go out.
Awesome.
We just need to win the lottery.
Yeah,
everybody get on the lottery. Everyone's got to get on the lottery.
If every airsofter just puts in a fiver, we'll probably be all right. We'll probably be able to do it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right, there's a few more comments. There's a lot of comments about where are the Rift sites. There's a couple about the specific MilSim ones. Obviously, you said Redcon. Where are these sites?
Yes. So Redcon is Abingdon, which is Oxfordshire. It's Dalton Barracks is the main place where it is. So if you search Dalton Barracks, which is DALTON, that's where that's held.
We're there every 2 weeks, aren't we? We're the first and third Sunday of the month.
Alternatively, if you do go on the Rift website, if you just put Rift Airsoft in on Google, it will come up because it is the top search there. All of our events are listed on there. I think at the moment we've got 4 sites that are running, but we have had more. I think the most we've had at one time is like 6 or 7, but we just rotate. So, for example, you lose some sites for whatever reason, then you find new ones and you go. So we're forever changing. And
mainly, we've obviously got the bomb dump down in Hampshire. We've got ComSite 3, which is our flagship site, so to speak.
Site.
Got another bit of comms. We've been there for 10 years now. That's Oxford. That's Banbury. And then we've got the one that Jake does as well, the Ridge. We're there this coming weekend.
Yeah, this is the last weekend for the Ridge. That's that's in Luton. That's Bartley Clay.
Yeah, it's a quarry.
There's no like defence or like buildings and stuff like that. It's a quarry, so it's hilly.
You're fighting the land.
It is the land. Great. It's realistic, which is why I've used
it's
it for the MilSims before, because it's like it just affords really great cover just by the land on its own. But we only play that site from March till September because of the weather. When you've got a clay quarry site that when it rains, it's just shocking. Like you can't do it. So we only get that for 6 or 7 months of the year, which is a shame. But
we're a massive thunderstorm right above my head at the moment. I'm sat aloft. I'm just like, oh.
It's needed, isn't it?
So that one. Pegasus asks, this is going back to the belts with the white sphere, are they load rated?
Not yet, no. So I've had them made, I've had them brought in, but there's no actual, I don't know exactly what weight or whatever they will carry. That's down for a bit of product testing, and the few people that bought them, I've asked for feedback. Like, these are basically the prototype range essentially that I've had come in. We ordered 10 of them initially to come in, which was quite an expensive order. I won't obviously go into figures because there's no reason, but as business works, you know, you have to make money, sell things to make money. But it was the best part of about $1,000 to get those belts in just for 10, which is quite pricey. I'd like the people that have got them to kind of throw out some feedback, which I've had already from a few people. I've had some little things that are, you know, one of the things which I believe one of the customers said was some more Velcro to run through the actual outer belt, so it goes a bit more round, so you can kind of adjust it to where you see fit. So there's things that I will look at and try and develop for maybe like a Mark II version as I order them in. So it'll be a kind of ever changing. But as for weight loading, it's realistically any other 1000 Decadora that you've got, that's what most of the high end stuff is made from. It should be very similar in comparison to that. Obviously, I'm using it at work, and I've got other people that I'm going to be throwing it to as well to use, which I'll end up getting some more pictures and feedback, and then just see how it goes really. So again, we're in a very premature stage of the business. You know, with White Sphere Company has been registered for a year now, whereas White Sphere Tactical was about 7 months. So we're just trying to develop the things and see how they go as things move forward. But what I can see, we're here to stay. You know, I don't see any reason why we're going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's just trying to develop the stuff we've got and make it better. So I'd say just keep your eyes out. You know, if I can get what it works with as we go, then yeah.
Feedback's everything, isn't it?
Feedback is everything. One of the things that somebody said was with Airsoft. Obviously, the pistol mag seemed to be a little bit bouncy in the holster, in the pistol holster with the Kydex, and anyone who's fired a real one or obviously an Airsoft one, a real pistol mag weighs nothing. They weigh absolutely nothing, whereas an Airsoft one is heavy. A full gas mag is heavier than a full loaded M9 mag. You know, it's like it is. So looking at that to see forward, yeah, whether I make the Kydex tighter on the insides, put some different types of grips on there, whatever, just adapt it to see how it comes. Obviously, move it on from there really, and just take my time with it that way. So it'll all be developed as things come in and go. So.
Is there anything sort of in the future in the pipeline, sort of like we're looking at day sacks or webbing or anything like that? Or?
Yeah. So for the moment, the premium range stuff that I've got, I'll do the basic range first. So I've got what we're looking at now, which is on the way, ordered is iPro. So which is, I know it sounds really boring to most airsofters, but affordable iPro at the moment is one thing that everybody needs.
No one can get clear iPro.
Clear iPro is just out everywhere. Like it is absolutely just non-existent. So I basically got very similar to the revision style eye protection, which is obviously the army issued at the moment. So I've got some of that coming in, which is White Sphere branded and logoed up, and we're just doing them as single lenses for now. But I'm going to make a Premier set, like a black triangle set that comes in a pouch with 3 lenses, exactly like the revisions do as well. So they're going to retail at about $10.99 for the standard glasses as they are. And then we'll obviously move on to the more premium versions of the full set for obviously those that are interested at a later date. I've also ordered some very simple holsters in, which are just normal like belt holsters, fabric ones, nothing fancy, for on the hip. And they're just going to come in about 30 different colours. 30 of each colour. And I've got about 5 different colours coming. We're also going to go for some nice single point slings and some nice 2-point slings, which are just going to be generic styles, but I have got some options to do some premium black triangle ones, which again I've said before, it may be a little bit of time to see, order a small order for now, bolt it onto my existing order, so to speak, and grab some of those in. Because again, with these type of things, it's quantity. You know, the more you order it, the cheaper it gets. And at the moment, with being a small business, I can't afford to order the thousands that I would need to obviously make it really cheap, or not make it cheap, but just to make more margin on it. So the margins aren't the best. And then obviously with the body armor and stuff, I've got some really nice chest rigs that I've been looking at. Again, 1000 Decadora, so they're quite nice. I've been looking at some laser cut molly pouches for 9mm and 5.56 and 7.62. And they're quite nice looking as well. And again, they've got elastic with laser cut on the outside, so they've got molly on top as well. I'm going to do a small range of those in a very different colours. That'll be compatible with all the body armor range. So yeah, there's a lot I'm going to go into. But I'm always open to try and find the next thing. There's some things that I've kind of put a block on that I can't get hold of as much. I'm a little bit, I say can't get hold of. I can do it, but it's other competitors out there that I think are doing such a great job anyway. And I'm thinking, why compete? Because I'm just going to be, not selling their stuff at our shop because I want to sell my own, and I don't personally agree with that. I will only try and sell things if I feel there's a gap for it. So I don't want to. Not that we would ever overtake any markets anyway, not yet. But there's really good gloves that we've got. The Armour Claw gloves. They're $11.99 for a set of hard knuckle gloves that you can remove the inner and outer of. And for $11.99, they are so good. They're so good. And if you ever see them, look, Google them or whatever, they're just a really good set of gloves. And for me to make my own gloves is just, they're going to cost twice as much, not be as good quality, all labelled or packaged up as well as they are. And there's no point, I might as well wait until that opportunity comes in the future when, something else. Again, you've got people like mechanics.
It's not really a niche item, is it? Gloves are gloves, aren't they, at the end of the day? But you mean,
like,
you've got the shooter's belt and your plate carrier, isn't it?
Exactly. You've got mechanics out there, which again is an incredible brand, and I think that I've used them for years, and personally, I still would want to buy mechanics, so I'll buy mechanics. I'm not going to switch from that now because I'm going to even make my own, set of gloves. I'm going to look at the as much different opportunities of kit and products that I can for a nice wide varied range, and again, some will be affordable. We'll go for the affordable range, and we'll go for the the more premium. If I can get it there as well. So, but it's just it'll be exciting. Growing it all as we can. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. It does. I must say, I do like it when you get sort of people that I say know what they're talking about designing kit, but you see a lot of. Don't get me wrong. I like some of the Viper stuff, but I think some of the Viper stuff does wear quite quickly in certain things. I mean, I've got Viper kit that's lasted a while. But when you get something proper and you're like, oh, this, it's like this is designed to like last a while. It's always nice when you get that sort of stuff. So.
Well, I think like with Viper, again, I'll be completely honest. Like before we started selling it, a long time ago, I would never really have brought it. And I always use my real steel stuff. I still use Virtus now when I'm playing. That I've always gone for. I would never use ECBA, but I use like the proper body armors and stuff. But I remember buying a Viper once because I wanted a different loadout colour, and it broke pretty much straight away within a couple of weeks. Just what was Airsofting, but they've changed. And I'm not saying that now because we stock it and I'm going, no, they've changed. Again, they've gone for that VX range and they've gone for different. There is some good stuff out there that they do, and it surprised me, to be honest. I mean, you look at they've got, obviously they still stock old stuff as well. They've got their old style of gloves, they've got their new style of gloves, and they've got this new range. So there is some stuff out there that I look at and go, that's really nice. And for what it is, like their VX buckle up sets, the body armor. Again, that's great. I think it's great, and the modular compatibility with the whole thing. Like you can buy the body armor, interchange the rig on the front, whether you want to have it for just a chest rig or a backpack on as well. It does work really well, but again, it's kind of affordable for a lot of people in Airsoft as well. That you're rocking up, you want to spend 150 quid and get everything, then great. But one of the reasons why it spurred me on to do this as well was just the sourcing of it. Again, Viper's a big company, and one of the things at the moment that everyone, especially with the current climate of Ukraine and stuff, is MTP. Like multicam is just scarce. You really struggle to get it. So I would have said, look, I'm going to just make the multi, and that's shown again with the belts. The belts in multicam were sold out. So there you go. It's trying to get the stuff in that people want. So it's trying to balance that stuff. Like I said before about knowing what to buy. My next order is likely going to be 10 medium, 10 large multicam, and then probably just one of each large and medium of the other belts, because that's probably what's going to sell. And it'll just be developing it, so like that's the reason why we obviously went from that to move away from like Viper in that sense. But we're going to still stock their stuff as well, because again, they're just it's Airsofter's dream, it's affordable kit that you need, and it's there on the day, and it works, and it's just good, and you haven't got to pay like 50 quid for like a scrope bag if you don't want it. It's a tenner, and that's what you want. Like I actually, my first scrope bag that I brought before I knew if I'd actually like it was I brought a Viper one, and it was a slightly different MTP than obviously my own actual MTP was, because it's got a different obviously pattern on it. And I tried that for a little bit at work for about 2 months before I went, I like this, and then I went and spent 50 quid on a Warrior one. So it's definitely got the pace, and that still stands with the kit now. It works well. So
I use their adjustable sling. I use that on both my LMG and I've used that since it's come out, and now I've not had a problem with it at all. So
that's good kit.
Good kit. Very good kit. There's definitely some good stuff out there, and again, it's like with the slings and that, it's finding nowadays that clips don't break, you know, and the amount of times you put on one and it's made of that alloy that just doesn't, it just snaps, you know.
I'll never forget, I jumped, it was a NAE, whatever year it was, I jumped down and literally hit the bottom of the ladder, and the gun, because it was like one of those slightly elasticated slings, the gun just went, it just carried on going. It just broke the clip in half. I was like so disappointed with it. It does happen. It does happen. Yeah, again, and that's what you don't want to have in it. You don't want to be out there and then
you don't want your £500 gun to hit the deck, do you?
No. But that's the thing. You know, if you bought, let's say, for example, you know, you brought a Spectre Arms Flex for £100 and you want a £20 sling to go with it, then absolutely great. But if you spend £500 or £600 on TM recoil, maybe buy a £50 sling and, you know, keep it strapped. That's it, isn't it? You know, it's life. So you have to adapt to it. You know, it's like, again, so I know people in America, you probably spend less than £500 on a rifle. You know, so you obviously going to put a real steel sling on that, wouldn't you? So it's the same with an airsoft one. If you're going to spend £600 on a rifle, then maybe just, you know, again, like lanyards
to protect it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The amount of people don't buy pistol lanyards and they go to me, "Oh, my pistol fell out," and I'm like, next time, you know, a lanyard is your insurance policy. That's it. You know, at least if it comes off, it's going to be running behind you and only scratch.
Just take your kneecap off as well.
Yeah,
I've done that before. Fucking me, that hurts.
Right, we're coming to pretty much the end of the episode. I just want to run through a few comments we haven't yet covered. James C. Said an MBT doesn't carry passengers internally, an APC carries passengers and provides them with a bit more firepower than a GPMG, but not a full-size tank gun. So
got this bloody tank again. Do you see what you started now?
That was right at the beginning of the episode.
This is going to be a thing now.
I wouldn't call an APC a tank. I mean, I know an APC, but a CVRT is definitely a tank.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm not gonna. I don't want to start causing any issues.
It's a recon tank.
It's a recon tank. Ryan says I paid $225 for my Ferro Bison belt for work, so quality at £100 issues is brilliant. So
that's exactly the same. Like again, I've spent on my Warrior one £100 for the belt and the pouch on top. I must have spent £200 on it.
Easily,
but again, yeah, of course, definitely. But that's it, you know, it works. So I'm not going to say to people go and buy another one now. You know, it's one of them, you can try it and see. But yeah, definitely.
I haven't got a proper actual gunslinger's belt or shooter's belt. So
yeah.
I just don't want an MTP though.
Yeah, you got away with the MTP.
I quite like an MTP base load out with a couple of tan bits in there, so it does actually not break up a little bit.
Yeah,
right, stop talking. Why do you invite these on? Well, stop. Oh no,
Ryan says we asked him where about in Cyprus he's going. Is Takalia?
Yeah, Takalia. Yeah, that's where I was based. That was so. Is it probably infantry then if he's going to Takalia? Yeah. So I was in Takalia for 2 years. Well, just shy. It was about a year and a half before we got disbanded. The Reserve Battalion for Afghan. Did the RSOIs from there as well. It was really nice because the actual back of the barracks on Takalia, if you're in the infantry ward, which is Alexander Barracks. The back of it is a gate which is on the beach. So literally, my room looked out. There was the beach. It was great. But ironically,
so it was holiday.
Ironically, one rifle was there. You go. Ironically, with how it works, obviously, because that's the way life is. At that time in my life, I wanted to be at home more than I wanted to be away. So I spent my whole time wishing I was back at home and being with my family because I was like a 18-year-old lad, 17-year-old lad wanting to be back at home. And it's just the way it works, isn't it? You know. Whereas now I'll be thinking, I wish I was over there.
That's a bit of me.
My family back here, you know.
Thomas Pittaway says MilSim at Rift would be very interesting. Tom Jane said Rift MilSim. Come on.
There you go.
Tom Jane. Yeah, you brought Tom back.
Yeah. Look at him. He heard that. He's like he sniffed it out.
Yeah, he heard it. And
he blows himself up.
Yeah. Don't do that again.
Scott says, I reckon you may be able to negotiate with Ground Zero guys to organise a zombies on their land where the NAF was. That would be cool. I've always said this, and I will keep saying it.
You are a battler.
The National Airsoft Festival Ground Zero, should be a perfect MilSim venue. Yeah, I'm just going to keep reiterating until someone listens to it.
If we can get the land, then that's great. But it's just obviously sometimes it's like an airsoft. Everyone's clicky, everyone gets touchy. We're not like it. It's all the business in it. At the end of the day, we kind of fully book most weekends, so we're not going to steal anyone else's business, and it's fine. If we can all help each other out in airsoft, then it's going to be so much better for everybody. That's the best way to look at it. So as long as everyone's doing well, then that's all it is. So if they want to let us have the land and someone knows who to get in touch with and they can get it for us, then great.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna at this point. I'm just gonna have to go give a couple blowjobs down at Ground Zero.
Oh, do it.
Just get the land and then organise
Get it
the
over
event.
there.
I think that's the only way it's gonna happen. Don't record that. Harry Badger says that Josh from Gunman MilSim is running a Stalkers Metro 2033 post-apocalyptic survival event in a few months. I believe that's the 22nd to 23rd of October. If anyone's interested, the
That's
details
our
are
one.
on
Oh, that's the same time we're doing a Rift
you know
sim.
what,
That's the
there's
Rift.
a-
Oh, that's a
there's a
clash
few-
there. That's
There's
a
a
Rift
few
sim
that
weekend.
weekend.
I know it's a clash, and I apologise for that. But just
Nah, that's
if
all right,
anyone,
Josh,
if anyone
we know
can't
Josh,
make it
we
to
know
Rift,
Josh quite well. Gunman, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
Good
Josh
guy.
is good.
So there you go. Hands down, people will be at an event that weekend. Be it the
Yeah.
Amazing Rift one, or I don't want to upset Josh, the Amazing Gunman
No,
one.
no.
Hey, good
But look,
man.
I tell you what, if we weren't doing that event, we'd
Oh,
probably
we'll
have
probably
we'd probably have like a Rift Away day or something. But it's obviously
We wouldn't. They'd be
Nah.
running another event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'd be-
let's
yeah.
not lie.
Yeah.
If we weren't doing that event, there'd be something else going on that would be roped into.
You don't get a rest. You don't
No,
get a
we
rest. You
don't.
should know this by now.
This
Yeah.
this is our rest
This
on
is
a
it.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Ryan says, I love my Spiritus micro fight, but the Viper copy is actually very good quality.
Nice.
And Kenny says, I just had some Dragon supplies make me some G3 pouches. Couldn't find any in OD green.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Definitely, there's a lot of good tailors out there who do it. I know Dragon supplies it quite well.
Nice.
Nice. Well, that's the end of the episode. It's been an absolutely epic one. I know it's
Yes.
always good to get people on that we've never met before, so it's always cool to find out new stuff and bits and pieces. So thank you, Jake
Yeah,
and Steve,
no.
for coming on. It's
No
been an
worries.
Yeah,
absolute
thank you
pleasure.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Cheers for having us. Thank you very much.
Just a reminder about our competitions. We've obviously got the Build Your Own Plate Carrier and the RBLI raffle. So the details of the RBLI raffle are on our website, and the plate carrier, I think they're all on Instagram, all the details for that.
Yeah, Instagram.
But if you need
Facebook.
to get in touch or ask us any questions, you can do so on email, which is nofochat@hotmail.com. Instagram is @November_Foxtrot_NoFo, or our website of NovemberFoxtrot.co.uk. You can also contact us individually on our Instagrams below. Guys, where can people find you for Rift and White Sphere?
So if you go on our Instagram at the moment, we don't have a Facebook page because again we're premature with the whole obviously business side of it for White Sphere
I'm a big
Tactical.
fan of Instagram as well.
Instagram is the way, but we will be doing a Facebook page in the future. It's just that with between Mr. Social Media over here managing the Rift accounts and the other bits, look, so we just said let's just Instagram at the moment, and then
If you go on the Rift Airsoft website, which is obviously www.riftairsoft.com, if you go on the left-hand side of that, the page there, it's got all of Rift's affiliates. That's obviously White Sphere Tactical is on there. You can click that and it pings you straight to the website as well.
if you do give us a follow on Instagram, absolutely appreciate it. Obviously, White Sphere Tactical is just www.whitespheretactical.co.uk, and all the stuff's on there as well for that. And also, if you do go on either or, you'll see that the sites, all the sites for Rift are on the bottom of the White Sphere Tactical page as well, and they're all on there.
So you can find us. You'll see where our faces will be.
Yep.
Awesome.
And if you can't, drop me a message and I'll pass you over.
Love
There
that.
we go.
Thank you.
There you go. Cool. I don't know what we're doing next week. Any ideas, guys? What
Hang
we're
on,
doing next
hang on.
week?
Let me get the sheet up.
I thought it was
is
a
it?
kit one next week we were on.
I thought it was a
I think
kit
it's
one
a-
next
I
week.
thought it
It's
was
a kit
kit.
one. It's probably not.
Next week is...
We're going to be doing a kit episode next week.
no, skills and drills. Basic
Ooh.
skills.
The 5 simple steps to up your game.
Yes.
Loadout,
Cool,
setup,
there you go.
muscle memory, physical fitness. Oh, I'm glad I'm missing that one.
Again, start getting them 5Ks in.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, you got to tell you what you got to do. You got to get out of that bloody tank at the weekend.
Yeah. I
I've seen how
will
many hot
watch.
dogs he has at lunchtime as well, by the way.
I only had one double this time.
Yeah.
That's all I was
And the
allowed.
tank driver, if the tank's driving along and you're walking in the back of it, doesn't count.
It was my cushion, so I didn't bounce around. You wedge yourself up in that little slot. If you're a bit big,
Yeah.
you don't fall out.
Fair play.
Right, on that lovely note, thanks, guys, for joining us again. We'll be back
Thank
next
you.
Wednesday. In the meantime, anyone want to say it?
Yes, stay
I'm saying it.
NoFo.
See you later. Cheers.
Take care.
Cheers, all.
Guys, bye.
Best.
Cheers.